guys, Beanie here. How are we? Well, this is going to be a little bit of a different video today. It's going to be a bit more behind the scenes of what I get up to in my spare time. Today it's usually either the cruiser or the boat I'm doing something to. Today it's the cruiser's turn. We are down here at Vehicles Pacific Solar here in Malaga, which is in Perth. It's getting a bit of a upgrade in the solar setup to a much newer and improved version. And I'd even throw in the word innovative as well. The boys are behind me are pretty busy installing it. I won't break their focus at the minute. They're in the zone. What can I say? There's been a lot of, well, not a lot of, there's been a few talks lately on social media and people are sort of on the fence about the whole idea. Hopefully this video will clarify a bit about that. And I will go into some of the benefits I've thought of, some of the questions asked that are a bit concerning, so that were about stone chips and stuff like that. I'll go into that later, but for now we'll let the boys do what they're doing and continue on. Now, it's in the name itself, Vehicles Pacific Solar. So these guys make solar panels, hood-mounted solar panels for all makes and models. So whether it's Fords, Toyotas, Nissan Patrols, Navaras, you name it, they've got a panel for all. So if you're sitting on the fence, you don't know if you're too keen on doing it, hopefully this video will answer a few questions, and yeah, hopefully you have a bit more clear about the setup itself. Okay guys, I thought I'd come out to the natural habitat of a solar panel out in the sun to finish off the video. Sorry guys, I'm going to have to put the sunnies on. She's a bit bright. Okay, so I thought I'd go into the pros and cons of the solar panel itself. So we'll talk about some of the cons I've seen on Facebook on one of the Landcruiser pages. A couple of people were a bit worried about A, the heat from the motor, and B, stone chips. I think it's going to take a fair bit to penetrate that protective layer on the top for a stone. I don't see it happening. It would have to be a pretty sizable bloody rock to penetrate that, and if that was the case, I'd be more worried about the windscreen. The heat from underneath. There's a little bit of a gap because they've got the double-sided tape underneath this, and my god, that sticks. It sticks so bloody much. There's a little bit of a gap, and it's got the vinyl. You've got the heat shield underneath the bonnet. I can't see heat from the motor worrying it at all. And you know, the air is designed to go through and under the car. If you're sitting there at idle, it doesn't really matter because the alternator is the one that's charging your battery when you're driving. So the heat from the motor is not going to worry it at all. This only kicks in on your DC charger when the car's been stopped and turned off. So I wouldn't worry about the heat coming up from the motor at all. Okay, we'll go into the pros now. First one I can think of is you're utilising space on your vehicle that's never been used before, and by doing that, you're also making space elsewhere where your old solar panel was. So I had mine on my roof, on top of the roof rack. It had a mechanism and everything, but I've made a lot more room just by moving it down onto the bonnet, and it's going to come in very handy in a few weeks time when we go to Dirk Hartog Island, I need to carry more fuel and more water. So I've got extra space up there now, and once again, we're just using a space that's never been used before. Number 2, I will go with number 2. Just the sheer weight difference. So the panel I took off on its own was about, I think it was about 7 kilos on its own, and then I had the mechanism, like the lift up mechanism that I custom jobby did, and the actual brackets itself that I had that mechanism bolted to. So all up, it was 10 kilos on the old one. These are only 3 kilos, and 7 kilos doesn't sound like that much, but when it all adds up, I've done a lot of weight cutting pretty much without jeopardizing any performance in any way. So for instance, I'm not going to get rid of an awesome chair to get a small chair to sit on just because there's 200 grams difference in weight. I'm not jeopardizing any kind of performance or comfort in everything I'm doing. But yeah, so all up recently I've cut about 65 kilos, which, you know, that's equivalent to a person. I'm literally having a person less in the car, and it's good. It's back to where I was before I put the water tank in, pretty much. So I've basically made myself a free water tank. Number 3, I've noticed on the way just to this spot, actually, since I took the old panel off, the sound, the wind noise was half of what it used to be. There's still wind noise because the roof rack's still up there. Of course there's going to be wind noise, but it's nowhere near as much as there was with the old solar panel, and less wind resistance. So some people have their panel up on a fair angle. That in the end, that costs you money, especially over a big trip. Wind resistance, you'd be surprised how much money that does cost you in fuel. Just ask anyone with a rooftop tent. And that's a little bit of weight, of course, but yeah, you'll be surprised how much difference there is in just in the cost of fuel over a long distance. Number 4, I think this is the last one. Oh no, I think there's another one after that too. The panel itself is just that little bit more efficient than the old panel, even though they're both 100 watts. It's just that little bit more efficient, and it'll probably just generate a little bit more power back into the battery. And I think if I had this on before I went to Steep Point, I reckon I would have made it the full 5 days without turning on the car. No worries at all. I missed out by half a day on the old setup, and they were 40-degree days, so the sun was pretty intense, and yeah, still ran out, but it was alright. All I had to do was start the car for 20 minutes and she charged up enough lithium batteries. Another pro is just the look of it. It actually looks awesome. I really love it. And they had one on a darker color F-truck at their shop, and it looked awesome as well. It looks tough as. A little bit different to what a little rectangle one would look like. I did think about putting a flexible one on ages ago. I was like, nah, it just won't look quite right with just being a rectangle. But I'm glad they've made these now, and as soon as I knew they were about, I went out and got one, so here it is. I also made, well, I'm going to be making an install video for the guys, just to help them out. And for anyone on the East Coast, you know, on the fence about buying one, but they don't want to install it, it's going to make it a lot easier to install. So, and a step-by-step guide and a video, because who wants to read instructions when you've got a video handy? So tune into onto the vehicle specific solar, and they will have the video on there hopefully very soon. If there's any questions from anybody about this, please let me know. Give me an I'm not the supplier or anything. If you really want to dig deep into it, go and see the boys at Vehicle Specific Solar, or check them out on Facebook. They're under that name as well, and they'll help you. No worries at all. They are a good bunch of blokes in there. Anyways, guys, a bit of a look behind the scenes of what I get up to in between all these trips. Like I said, it's usually the boat or the cruiser that gets something done to it. Today was the cruiser. I've got many more things to do. So I've got, on the outside, I've got my eyes on some new wheels, and I've got some side steps that I've got to order. I'll probably do that today. I've got to find someone to do a custom bar, which I can't wait to do. I've got some pretty good ideas. I think you guys might actually be interested in that as well. Coming up, what we got, Dirk Dog Island. I think that's going to be an excellent little adventure. So if you haven't subscribed, jump on the channel and hit that subscribe button. And yeah, if you're interested on how this goes, I will do a review. Definitely not a biased review at all. I will say how it is at the end of the video. But so far, I think it's an amazing little solar panel. Anyways, guys, cheers for checking in and checking out the video. I'm sure the guys are going to do pretty well with these solar panels, and they're just a good bunch of guys there at the shop. And yeah, see you on the next adventure.